Not enough evidence to have found Mitch Phillip guilty of non-capital murder. So says representing attorney Jerry Edwin, who is considering an appeal.
We are going to file an appeal on several grounds, not least of which that the prosecution's expert conducted a remote autopsy from the funeral home, Lacroix Funeral's home, using a cell phone. I believe there are sufficient grounds for a court of appeal to look anew at this case.
Mitch Phillip faces a maximum penalty of life imprisonment and will be sentenced on February 24, 2023. Phillip was found guilty of non-capital murder of his common-law wife, Chanel Alexis, on Monday, December 19, 2022. The case was brought against the Victoria St. Mark resident in connection with the May 30, 2020 death of 23-year-old Chanel last month at the St. George's No. 1 High Court.
That this case was a travesty of justice. Clear. The jury returned a unanimous verdict within 2 hours of hearing a case that lasted over 6 weeks. There was no evidence that Mitch Phillip played any role whatsoever in the death of Chanel Alexis, the mother of his 2 young daughters. Based on what we have heard, and I think based on what anyone who is sitting in that courthouse would have heard, Mitch Phillip is no murderer.
Attorney Edwin alleges numerous influences in this matter and believes defendants should have a choice.
There had been, unfortunately, prevailing opinion throughout Grenada that implicated Mr. Phillip in this. You know, social media, the man on the street, the popular opinion, all of that seemed to have sunk into the heads of the jurors. They never considered the evidence in this case. The man who is charged should have a choice. He should say, I want to be heard by a judge alone, because this evidence is so complex and the rumor mill is so well oiled, I could never get a fair trial in front of 12 people.
Edwin calls on the Attorney General and by extension the Bar Association that in order to advance the course of justice, persons charged with criminal offenses in the High Court be able to elect a judge or a jury to hear their case. Christina John, GBN News.